Joining me this morning to talk about the beginning of the spring 2021 semester here at San Juan College, Dr. Toni Hopper Pendergrass, the president of San Juan College. Joining me once again, Dr. Pendergrass, good morning.
Good morning, Scott. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Normally, we speak on the first day of the semester. We're kind of shifting it by one day because today is Martin Luther King Day, of course, and the campus is closed, but the semester will kick off in earnest tomorrow on Tuesday.
Yes.
Very good. How are things looking so far? I know enrollment is always something that you watch carefully, and of course this year, like last year, is a little bit of a challenge with everything that's going on.
Yes, it has certainly been a challenge, Scott. Right now we're tracking about 11% down, but I was on a call yesterday, well, I guess a few days ago, with a rural college leadership learning community, and we're right where most colleges are as far as decreases in enrollment. Some have more, some slightly less, but most are in the 10 to 20% range in decreases in enrollment for spring semester.
So we are not alone. San Juan College is not alone in seeing a decrease in enrollment.
Oh, absolutely not.
And so I guess the news is maybe it could be worse, is what you're saying.
Yes, it could be.
Okay, but it's not. And I know a lot of the staff and yourself have been putting a lot of effort into recruiting students and making sure they realize that the staff is here to help and to get them signed up for classes and get them in and get them online. And that's still the plan, correct, for the spring semester as the state kind of navigates through the COVID-19 pandemic to remain most classes are online or virtual?
Yes, a large portion of our classes are online or virtual, but we do have a significant percentage that we're offering through our School of Health Sciences, Trades and Technology, and School of Energy. That's what we did last fall as well, but we surveyed our students and we have added some face-to-face courses this spring, more so than last fall. But we are using very COVID-safe practices here at San Juan College, and we have excellent faculty and staff that are doing a great job.
Very good. And so I guess our message to folks watching or listening to us that it's not too late to register. If they're watching this on Monday and we'll be open again Tuesday morning, they could still sign up for a class tomorrow.
Yes, actually in the fall we had 1,500 students register within the last 9 days. So it's not too late in any shape or form. And we also have lots of classes that start even after our first day of class. We have lots of 8-week offerings, lots of 12-week offerings, and some 4-week offerings as well.
Very good. And I want to ask you a little bit about some of the things you shared at Convocation, which was kind of the all-faculty gathering. It was virtual, again, in the spring, but you were able to pass along some really interesting news about some of the programs and degrees here at San Juan College that I think the audience would be really interested to find out and learn more about, one of which includes the Board of Nursing and the School of Health Sciences, as you were mentioning. You saw some pretty good results from our nursing students.
Yes, this is exciting news, Scott. So our Dean of Health Sciences, Sherry Paxson, shared this great news with us, and we have wonderful leadership in our Dean of Health Sciences and our nursing program with Shauna Kemper. And January 1st through December 31st of 2020 is the cycle that they use to measure the calendar year, basically, for their pass rates. And all of the students in our associate degree in nursing program, 32 of them that took the test, passed it on the first attempt, and all 15 that were in our Bachelor of Science in Nursing program passed it on the first attempt. So I just think these results are extraordinary and really speak to the quality of faculty and staff that we have in that area that are helping our students to be successful.
Right. Well, congratulations to them and some pretty smart students, it looks like, too, to get 100%.
Oh, yes, definitely. They're certainly the cream of the crop.
Well, very good. And that will continue, of course, this year with the rest of the students that are in that program, and there'll be more stats to collect at the end of this calendar year.
Yes.
Excellent. Very good. I want to ask you a little bit, too, about another new program the college is offering, and that is this small unmanned aerial systems program, otherwise known as drones. And this is kind of interesting because it's interesting to me because I'm kind of a nerd, and I have a drone that I fly as a hobby, but there's an actual certificate, an actual program with this, and some possible careers, right?
Yes, you should enroll in the program.
You should.
Or
You're right.
have your own personal drone.
Right.
Yes, Brian Seavey is our professor over this program, and it just started in August of 2020. And we've already had 3 students that took their drone pilot certificate exam through the FAA and passed on their first attempt. So this is a brand new program. We're really proud of the results that they're already having. If those of you that are tuning in online, you'll notice that Josh Bishop, he's an employee here at the college, and I'm pretty sure he was one of the individuals that passed on the first attempt. So we're just really excited. This is a wonderful program. We know that people can work in a number of industries. It's in high demand.
Right, and that was my other question, too, would be about these job opportunities, right? And we list them here for our folks who are watching the video program this morning. Real estate, forestry, energy, education, archaeology, and construction, just to name a few. These are all industries that are hiring these drone operators, licensed drone operators, right?
Yes, and we, all of us that sometimes order from Amazon, we know in many major cities are already delivering by this method.
Right, and who knows, one day it may get to have drones flying deliveries in Farmington. Yes,
and several years ago, I learned, I don't know what the latest statistics are, but we were number 2 in the nation for open airspace for this type of technology behind Ohio.
Interesting, and that would make this area maybe useful for testing or certainly deliveries and things like that with all that open space.
Yes, absolutely.
Very good. The other thing I also wanted to pass along or ask you to pass along was some information about the college's Occupational Therapy Assistant Program and the College Foundation.
Yes, our second-year students in the Occupational Therapy Assistant Program. This was featured in our latest communicator, so some of the listeners may be aware of it. But as it stated in the communicator, they were busy little elves with the holiday project. And what they did is they worked with our foundation to purchase 15 toys and the required equipment to adapt them for children with special needs. And this was just a great project that they adapted them for each child's specific needs. And one mother of the child, who is an alumni here at the college, it brought her to tears to see how happy her daughter was when they gave her the toy that was adapted to her needs that she could use.
Oh, great. And it has to be adapted because some of these special needs kids just can't play with the toy the same way if it's right out of the box from a store or something without those adaptations.
Right. Some of them have larger buttons and so forth.
Right. Very interesting. What a great program. And the other thing, too, Dr. Pendergrass, to ask you about is this award that the college has received for Family Friendly Business Award.
Yes. So for the second year in a row, San Juan College was designated at the gold status for being a family-friendly business. And we're thrilled that we received this award. We're actually striving for the platinum level, but this really helps us be recognized as one of the leaders among family-friendly workplaces here in New Mexico.
And for our radio listeners who can't see the graphic, perhaps, the idea behind that is the college's array of kind of benefits and flexibility for work schedules and things like that. That's what goes into this award?
Yes, that's correct, Scott.
Very good. And the platinum would just be more of the same, or is there a bit other things that they consider at the platinum level?
I think there's some other items that they consider, but our Dr. Langoni, who is our Associate Vice President of Human Resources and Legal Services, said that we are definitely striving for that even next year.
Okay, very good. Well, fingers crossed, and we'll hope for the best. But congratulations on the gold award for the second year in a row, as you mentioned. The other thing that's coming up, and I want to give a programming note, we're going to have a special program on this topic coming up this Wednesday, day after tomorrow on the program. The college, San Juan College, has partnered with Fort Lewis College to support the Hawk Tank program. And this is a program that's actually kind of putting money where our mouths are to attract students, high school students and college students to maybe pitch some business ideas, right?
Yes, it's a very successful program at Fort Lewis College. And over a year ago, Dr. Adrienne Forget, the Vice President of Learning, and Alicia Corbell, who is our Dean for the School of Energy, but also the CEO of our research park, Four Corners Innovations, we met with the business school dean, Steve Elias, and a professor, Dr. Michael Valdez, regarding this potential partnership. And thanks to Four Corners Innovation and San Juan College Foundation for helping support this, now we are a full partner at 50%. So as you mentioned, we will have a high school track business plan competition and a college track business plan competition for our students. And they can win both cash prizes and significant scholarships to both San Juan College and Fort Lewis College. And they have tremendous community support for this program. It kicks off towards the end of this month on January 26th, and then they will have an information session. Then they will have several workshops that they'll offer throughout the semester to help them develop their business plan. Some of this has to do with making your business ideas a reality, a mentor program, a market analysis and revenue forecasting, legal concerns and issues, and revenue costs, cash, and capital. And then they have the students, typically in the past, they've pitched their business idea, and then they have an awards banquet and gala for the recipients. Many of the students have launched successful businesses as a result of this program. So we're just really excited to be part of Hawk Tank. And I'm glad that you're having a special program with a new dean that we have here at the college, Dean Eddie Rawlinson. He's our Dean for Business and Information Technology. And he's a well-seasoned dean, and I'm glad that he's leading this project.
Right. It's going to be a great conversation about that. And folks may see the similarities between Hawk Tank and Shark Tank, the popular television program, and it's kind of based on the same thing, although I'm told the judges aren't as snarky as they are on the TV show.
Yeah, I've heard they're very nice.
Yes, that's true. And as you mentioned, there's a lot of support in some of these seminars and mentoring for these entries that are going into this Hawk Tank competition.
Yes, and I think one thing that's particularly important is that these workshops are open to any student at high school or college level, any business owner, any community member, all free.
Right. Good point. Very good point. And the other thing that we have talked about recently, and you are included in that, Dr. Pendergrass, is SCAPE, the Southwest Colorado Accelerator Program for Entrepreneurs. We did a program on that, I think, just a week ago, and they are expanding into Northwest New Mexico and working with San Juan College to kind of help other non-students, I guess, who are entrepreneurs to maybe make their ideas a reality.
Right, and SCAPE has been in existence for 7 years, and this year we have launched SCAPE Four Corners in partnership with them, San Juan College, Four Corners Economic Development, the City of Farmington, and San Juan County. So right now they're in their recruitment stage. Usually October through January is when they recruit applications. And so they generally have about 50 applications per year. And then in the month of February, they screen all the applicants, conduct interviews, and they'll usually decide to work with 5 or 6 companies. And the executive director of SCAPE is Elizabeth Marsh, so she works directly with them. And then she's recruited over the years about 65 mentors. And these are usually retired CEOs or C-suite executives that work with these individuals that are interested in launching a new product or a business idea with a service, or maybe an existing business that wants to pivot and have a national audience. But this is a great way to diversify our economy. And these mentors and Elizabeth work with them over 6 months, so from March to September, to do due diligence and make sure they have good business concept, financial plan, a good pitch, all of the things that are necessary. And if they graduate from this process, then they help them with investment. So over the life of SCAPE, they've helped a total of 36 companies. They've helped them raise about almost 25 million in investment, and it's created 152 jobs, which is really important for improving or expanding our tax base here in San Juan County. So we're really excited about SCAPE. And if anyone has any questions about this, I would encourage them to go to the website, which is goscape.org, and then you click on the right-hand corner, and it says apply, and there's just a wealth of information about the project. Or you can contact Elizabeth Marsh directly through the SCAPE website, and she'll be happy to enter any questions regarding the application process or any other questions anyone may have.
Right, and we should point out the deadline, I know, to apply is the end of this month, so January 31st.
Yes, that's the deadline.
Okay, but a lot of big numbers there. I just want to make sure everybody heard when you said that they have raised almost $25 million in capital for some of these entrepreneurs.
Yes, and there's some wonderful examples of businesses that have been launched through this process, and they try and select businesses that they know will remain in the tax base. So that's one of the criteria, is they really want people that are planning to stay here.
Right, and I think also that I think you mentioned too, a national maybe market to try to bring outside money into the community, and as Warren Unsicker would tell me, that's an economic-based job.
Absolutely, that's correct.
Right. Well, I want to ask you too about another, I think it's a grant opportunity that the college received from Chevron, and that is about a EDI program, the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Program.
Yes, so Chevron has been a wonderful partner of San Juan College for over 30 years. They've helped us with brick and mortar projects, scholarships, innovative programs that we're launching. But this year they helped us, they provided us with, I think it was $20,000 in scholarships, and then $30,000 towards our Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion program. And our executive director of the foundation, Gail Dean, has just done a wonderful job helping us secure this funding and support from Chevron, along with Carrie Sosi Jim, who is our senior research and equity analyst. And part of the funding will help us develop professional development for our employees and students related to equity, diversity, and inclusion. And then part of the funding will help us support a summer bridge program for minority students in STEM careers and energy-related careers. And that was the brainchild of Carrie Sosi Jim, to be able to bring students onto our campus over the summertime and let them know what to expect in these STEM and energy-related fields, and provide them with the support needed so that they can be successful once the semester starts. We all know that bridge programs have just a proven track record of really helping students kind of get a jump start on their education.
Right, and these are really important too, and I think, again, we're targeting these minority students, some of whom may be a first-generation college student, and so this would be designed to support them as well, wouldn't it?
Yes, absolutely. For example, in our engineering program at San Juan College, at one point, the last time I looked at the data, that may have changed, but 89% of the majors in engineering were Native American students. And we have a highly successful program. The professors in that program have worked closely with professors at our state universities, and I've been told more than once by New Mexico Tech that our students outperform students that our students that transfer to New Mexico Tech outperform the students that start at New Mexico Tech. So they love our students, and we just want to help all of them to be successful.
Right. And I guess that would tell a potential student that if you start here at San Juan College, you have a better chance of succeeding if you transfer out to a place like New Mexico Tech.
Yes.
Excellent. Very good. And the other thing I wanted to ask you about, Dr. Pendergrass, was the keynote address at the convocation this past week, and that was talking a little bit about evidence-based change. And we're showing a picture of Jordan Horowitz, who is the Chief Operating Officer and Caring Campus Coach. But this is something that we heard about last week, and maybe for folks who aren't in higher education, explain to us why this is such an important thing to pay attention to.
Yes, so we were at a what we call a Pathways Institute last year, and Dr. Forget met the CEO and founder of the Institute for Evidence-Based Change. And I had actually met him when I worked at San Juan College, and he encouraged her that we should competitively apply for this grant opportunity that's funded by the Ascendium Foundation called Caring Campus. And we completed the application, and we were thrilled that we were accepted into the program. And over the last several months, it kind of started when COVID did in March, but we've had 41 different employees work on the primary tenets of the Caring Campus initiative. And I've just been really pleased with what they've developed. They developed a plan for improving our services in both the traditional environment, which, what we would call normal, and a virtual environment. And I think it will just help us to retain more students and have more students graduate and hit the finish line, which is the ultimate goal.
Right, and it all goes to that student success, which I know is a pillar of San Juan College, and really trying to make sure every student who comes here leaves here with the goals that they had in mind when they started, and making this campus into a more caring campus is part of those things, even in a virtual world these days?
Yes, that's correct. Really developing that sense of belonging among students so that they feel that they belong and want to be here and want to finish.
Right. And I know the keynote speaker talked a bit about something as simple as name tags when we're back maybe face-to-face and encountering other people on campus and things like that. But even something as simple as that seemed to make a really big impact on her and as she mentioned, on others too as she was walking around.
Yes. Most of the concepts or tenets I talk about, there's 4 main ones, are pretty basic, but they're very important. They worked with Odessa College for several years, and at one point, the president openly says that they were on the slate, so to speak, to be defunded by Texas. And over 4 years, they adopted those concepts, made a lot of changes, had some transformation, and then they were rated one of the top 5 colleges out of all 1,108 through the Aspen Award. So in a very short time, they totally transformed their culture with some of these concepts.
Very good. Well, and that is something that the college is embracing, and so we are on board with this Caring Campus idea and moving forward through this grant opportunity.
Yes, that's correct.
Very, very good. And we started the conversation, Dr. Pendergrass. I asked you about enrollment, and I did want to point out that I think it's sometimes lost in the statistics that we get a report every day, of course, of how enrollment is looking. You mentioned things were down about 11%, but as I look back, that's about where we were just a little over a year ago in 2019. We had a very big increase, it seems to me, last year, and so we're not down all that much as to where we were, even if we are down a little bit. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes, last year we were able to increase enrollment, and this year we're slightly down, but it's to be expected. There's just so much uncertainty. So many of our students have so many more obligations at work, with parents, with children. And, many of our children have not been able to go back to school full time. So, I just hope that we can come out of this once there's some more less uncertainty, so to speak.
Right. No, I completely understand. But I think if we just look at 2020, which I think in a lot of places are going to have a big asterisk after the year, and compare these numbers of this semester to spring 2019, we're almost the same.
Right. You're correct.
With numbers, which I think is a pretty good thing for compared to other colleges around the country. That was the point I wanted to make.
Our team and employees have been working really hard here at the college.
Very good. Well, I know it's a big drive, and there has been that constant message about student success and letting students know that the staff is here to help them and get them signed up and to even help them through the semester, no matter what it brings. And as we have seen, we don't always know what the semester is going to bring, and so I think the college is prepared. The instructors are prepared to guide their students through to a successful completion in May.
Yes, and we have a wealth of resources, both financial through our financial aid office and our foundation. So we don't want that to be a barrier at all. We have a very affordable tuition. We also are checking out laptops. We've bought a ton of new laptops. We have Wi-Fi hotspots if internet access is an issue that we can provide to any student that needs it. We have drive-through, and you can pick those up through a drive-through line. We have food available for students. So we're just trying to provide all the support needed. We have free tutoring. We're doing that remotely or face-to-face. So don't let that be a barrier.
Very true. And I know the college has been working on making more, as you mentioned, hotspots available. There's increased Wi-Fi spots outside of the buildings and the parking lots on campus if folks need to come and just access Wi-Fi to upload things and download assignments and all those types of things. It's kind of a new thinking process in this new virtual world, but the college seems to have stepped up to provide these services to students, staff, and faculty.
Yes, and even before the pandemic hit, 30% of our offerings were online. So our faculty and staff are really poised to just be successful in this environment, but we also have face-to-face and hybrid classes for those that prefer that as well.
Right. Well, and again, the college will be following some of the state directives as hopefully things start to maybe ease a little bit during this pandemic, and we're all hopeful for a reopening when it's feasible between now and the rest of the year. But I think a lot of folks are hopeful at this stage.
Yes, and our plan has been approved by the New Mexico Higher Education Department. We've had well over 25,000 visits in our Health and Human Performance Center. And to our knowledge, we haven't had any spread of COVID on our campus.
That's wonderful.
Or at any of our locations.
Right.
We've certainly had cases, but we don't think any of the spread has occurred here, to our knowledge.
Understood. Well, again, we hope everyone is safe and healthy as we go through this. And Dr. Pendergrass, I always appreciate your time to visit with me at the start of every new semester here at San Juan College. It's kind of a tradition between us, and I appreciate it very much.
Well, I always enjoy visiting with you, Scott.
Thank you very much. Dr. Toni Hopper Pendergrass, President of San Juan College, my guest here on KSJE.